Hello, welcome back to another breaking news update. My name is Jimmy Boyd, and you were watching Boyd News. I want to thank you so much for tuning in today. I've got a breaking news report coming out from Ukraine, and I've got some information today that could be very bad news for the Ukrainians if this happens to be true, as the Russians today are claiming some major territorial gains inside of Ukraine. So I want to show you a new report here on your screen. Russia claims capture to Luhansk Oblast and settlement in Dnipropetrovsk. Russia has seized all of Luhansk, one of four regions illegally annexed from Ukraine, despite not fully controlling a single one. This was according to Leonid Pasechnik, the Kremlin-installed head of Luhansk. So this main official out of the Luhansk region that has been installed by the Kremlin after it was illegally annexed, he's claiming today that allegedly the Russians control the entirety of this oblast. And last we knew, they do control a majority of it, but not the entirety. I think somewhere around 98% or so, last we heard. And I have a map I could show you guys in a little bit, just a couple months back, of how much territory they were actually controlling in this oblast. But that's what they're stating today. So far, Ukraine has not come out and commented on this yet. So we'll wait for official confirmation from them, or if they come out and refute this claim. But also, we have a report that in the Dnipropetrovsk region, which is just beyond the Donetsk Oblast, and it would be just to the south of this map that you're looking here, the area that we'd be talking about. And there's a settlement just over the border in the Dnipropetrovsk region coming from the Donetsk Oblast, and the Russians are claiming to have captured a new settlement over there. And if that happens to be true also, this could be the very first time that Russia has set grounds inside the Dnipropetrovsk region, which for weeks now they've been claiming they were going to launch an offensive through the Donetsk region to reach the border of the Dnipropetrovsk Oblast. So not good news, but I want to show you guys this information anyway, if it happens to be true. And we do have the Ukrainians coming out and refuting the claims regarding the Dnipropetrovsk region. So I'll show you all this information today. It's a lot to get into, so let's just go ahead and get right into this. We're going to hop on over here to a mainstream news report on the Moscow Times that says Russia now occupies all of Ukraine's Luhansk region. Kremlin-installed official says. Okay, this just came out today, on today's date, July 1st, 2025. And it says right here, the Moscow appointed head of Ukraine's occupied Luhansk region claimed Tuesday that Russian forces now have full control of the territory. Just 2 days ago, a report was released stating that the territory of the Luhansk People's Republic has been completely liberated 100%. Leonid Pasechnik said on Russia's state-run Channel 1. If confirmed, Luhansk would be the second Ukrainian region to fall entirely under Russian control since Moscow seized the Crimean Peninsula in 2014. In March, Russian President Vladimir Putin said Moscow held 99% of the Luhansk region, which alongside the Donetsk, Kherson, and Zaporizhzhia regions, the Kremlin claims to have annexed in September 2022. Russia previously claimed full control over Luhansk in July 2022, when then Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu told Putin that Russian forces had seized the city of Lysychansk and surrounding towns. But Ukraine recaptured Lysychansk and parts of Luhansk region during its rapid counteroffensive in the fall of 2022, which also saw Kiev regain large areas of land in Kharkiv and Kherson regions. So, apologize if I'm not pronouncing the name of this town right, but yeah, that's what the Russians are stating here today. I mean, you guys can let me know whether you think that's true or not. I mean, we do know that Russia does control a large majority of the Luhansk Oblast, so I guess it could be possible, but I want to wait for further confirmation coming out from Ukraine as well, as so far I haven't seen any information on them really actually commenting on this yet. So real quick, we're going to hop on over here to X as well, and I want to show you guys a map here. So this was a report that came out back in April of this year, 2025, from ViceGrad24, and I share a lot of their reports on X pretty frequently. And this map shows that a good majority here, the red that we see on Luhansk, majority of it is under control by the Russians. So could it be possible that the Russians are able to claim the entirety of Luhansk? I mean, maybe it could be, but again, so far Ukraine has not come out and commented on this just yet. But you can see here on this map, clearly they control a majority of it. And they were stating here that back in April, 2% of Luhansk was under Ukraine's control. Okay, so very little amount of that oblast. So I guess it could be possible, but again, let me know what you guys think. And then also we had this report that came out today, and I believe I showed this to you guys earlier on our update video for the Russia-Ukraine war. And take a look at this from Bliskovka. Russia's occupied 556 square kilometers of Ukrainian territory in June, the worst figure in a year. According to deep state data, The largest advances were recorded in the Novopavlivka direction, 29%, Pokrov's direction, 27%, and Sumy region, 18%. Okay, so the Russians have been making some gains, okay, and this is a very pro-Ukrainian account. Bliskovka, and I shared a lot of their reports as well, usually very reliable reports. Now, this information is according to Deep State Data, which is a map that's run from off of open source intelligence and information from mill bloggers and whatnot to kind of update the map and let people follow along with this war. Deep State has been reporting major territorial gains by the Russians over the last probably 2 months since like May. They have been making some gains. This was kind of a chart showing the different months of how much Russia was gaining based on their invasion into Ukraine. Okay, so definitely this year we can see the last couple months there have been some major gains here compared to the start of the year. Okay, so they definitely are gaining inside of Ukraine. Then I also want to show you this real quick. We're not going to go over this full report, but this is regarding the Dnipropetrovsk Oblast, and this is on The Guardian. Russia's taken first a village in Ukraine's Dnipropetrovsk, state media claims. If confirmed, advance of Russian forces into the region could be a psychological blow for Kiev. Okay, and just real quick, we're going to go over this. Russian forces have captured a village in the Ukrainian region of Dnipropetrovsk for the first time in their 3-year offensive, Russian state media and pro-war bloggers have claimed, marking a potential psychological blow to Ukraine. There was no immediate confirmation from Ukrainian officials or from the Russian Defense Ministry. Russia's state RIA news agency cited an influential pro-Russian official, Vladimir Rogov, if I'm saying that right, as saying that Russian forces had taken control of Dokhnoye, just inside Dnipropetrovsk. Our troops have advanced further in this direction and have already driven the enemy out to the village of Dokhnoye. This is the first populated area in the Dnipropetrovsk region from which the enemy has been expelled. This was according to Rogov on Telegram. And it says here, 3 weeks ago, Russian officials similarly claimed their forces had entered Ukraine's eastern Dnipropetrovsk region, but Ukrainian authorities said the assault was repelled. Yeah, that's what we've been hearing. I mean, so far, Ukraine has not confirmed that the Russians are entering into the Dnipropetrovsk Oblast. I can actually show you guys that information here. But real quick, we're going to jump on over to this map from Deep State so I can kind of show you guys what they're claiming here. The Russians are claiming, that is, in terms of making gains inside the Dnipropetrovsk Oblast. So it's going to be this kind of like U-shaped oblast right here, or region inside of Ukraine. And down here on the southeastern side of it, we're going to zoom in over here near the city of Dokhny, or village or settlement of Dokhny, okay? And if you notice here, there's kind of this gray area that's reaching into this oblast. So this dotted line right here would be the border between the Dnipropetrovsk Oblast, and then we have down here would be the Donetsk Oblast. And right here by this settlement of Dokhny, now it's not covered in red yet, as the Russians are claiming they control it now. But we were able to see just over the last 24 to 48 hours, we now have a gray area here inside of the Dnipropetrovsk region, which could possibly indicate the Russians are attacking into that area. Now, it hasn't been updated, obviously, yet as of today on July 1st with this map for Deep State, but this is kind of what they're talking about here, that the Russians could be inside here and controlling this particular village right here inside the Dnipropetrovsk Oblast, and that's very bad news because Ukraine did not want them to reach this border here of the Dnipropetrovsk Oblast, but it looks like possibly they could have made it in, or at least are trying to attack their way in there right now. Just wanted to show you that map there so you can see what I'm talking about. And then finally, look at this from Bliskovka. As of today, the Russians have not managed to break into the Dnipropetrovsk region, says the head of the Central Military District, Andriy Kovalenko. He's also the head for the Center for Countering Disinformation. You've probably seen me talk about him numerous times out of Ukraine. And it says the fighting is taking place near the administrative border, and the Russians are also flying into the territory with the region of FPV drones. Earlier, the network claimed that the fighting was continuing directly in the Dnipropetrovsk region, and a corresponding gray zone appeared on the Deep State map. So this was the original reports coming out here showing this. So here's the city of Dokhny right here, and this gray zone that I was showing you guys on that Deep State map, indicating that the Russians are starting to attack into there. Now, obviously, it hasn't been updated with red just yet. That could happen here in the next few days or next few weeks. Who knows? But the Russians are definitely very close to the border of the Dnipropetrovsk Oblast and could have entered it for sure. You can even see right here, they could have broken in over here on this side, as it looks like they launched an attack over here to try to cross over the border of the Dnipropetrovsk region as well. So things are definitely very tense over here on the eastern side of Ukraine. And again, the Russians are making some major claims today of territorial gains. Now, the whole Luhansk situation, again, Ukraine has not said anything about that yet, but maybe they'll come out here over the next couple days, either claim that it's true. If not, they will refute it and state that this is not the case. So you guys can let me know what you think. I just wanted to share these details with you and get it out there and let you know what the Russians are claiming today. But yeah, I want to thank you so much for tuning in for this update. Let me know what you think about all these details down below in the comment section. That's going to be it for today's update. If you got something out of this, please smash that like button. Also, if you enjoy my content, please consider subscribing down below. Hit the notification bell. That way YouTube can notify you. And with that, hope you all have a great day. Everybody take care and God bless. And we'll see you in the next one.